What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Gandee Show. Today's episode is going to be a little more serious, and it's probably going to make some people uncomfortable. But usually that means if people get uncomfortable, usually it means that it's something that should probably be talked about. But today's episode is not for the addicts. It is for the people who love them. It's for the moms, the dads, the partners, and the friends that mean well. It's for the people who keep giving money and offering a couch, keep fixing problems, and continue to protect people from the consequences of their actions. I feel like I need to say this up front. This is not an attack on anybody, but it is a conversation that is rooted in compassion and love and lived experience. One of the main reasons why I believe I have the success I have currently in recovery is because I do not have anybody to fall back on. I don't have a plan B. I don't have anybody to rely on. So, this is it. If I mess up, I don't get to go live with my mom. I don't get to go live with my dad. I do not have a safety net. Both of my parents are in active addiction, and that's painful for me to say, but it's the truth. It's the reality of my situation. So anybody who believes in the power of prayer, I ask, please pray for both my mother and my father. I'm saying that to say that there is nothing waiting to catch me if I fall. And because of that, staying sober is not optional for me. It is survival. I know that this is hard to hear, and I know that just like with most things in life, it's going to always be easier said than done. But people are not going to change if they're still comfortable enough to not have to change. If somebody has drugs and a place to sleep, or if they have, the money they need to get whatever they want and protection from consequences, if every mistake is minimized or fixed or softened in some way, there will be no urgency to change. And I know this from lived experience. Addiction thrives in comfort. I need to make this abundantly clear. Enabling somebody is not love, and I know it feels like it is. And I'm guilty of this too. I don't ever want to give the impression that I'm speaking to you from a place that is holier than thou, because I am human also, and I am guilty of being enabled in the past, and I'm also guilty of enabling people because I understand that sometimes it's like you feel like you don't know how else to help somebody, and and I don't ever want to be hypocritical, because it's I'm actually struggling with something like this now, right now, and like, I understand how it feels to love somebody and want to help them and not know how. Enabling is not love, even though it feels like it. Love says, I care about you so much that I will no longer help you destroy yourself. Enabling says, I can't tolerate your pain, so let me absorb it for you. And I get it. Watching somebody suffer is unbearable. It is. But shielding somebody from consequences does not remove pain. It just prolongs the inevitable. It's just postponing what is going to happen with or without you. And usually it makes it worse. This is a hard episode for me to make. because I truly know what it feels like to love somebody, know that they're suffering, not know how to help them. And usually I deal with that in one of two ways. I usually avoid it or I give in. And neither one of those things are healthy either. When I was in active addiction, I didn't change because somebody asked me to. I didn't change because somebody cried over me. I didn't change because, somebody believed in me. I changed when continuing the same way that I was going became more painful than stopping. And that's just the reality of the situation. Giving money is not neutral. Providing shelter without boundaries is not harmless. And lying to protect someone is not kindness. It just signals to the addiction, hey, you can stay a little longer. And your addiction hears that loud and clear. You are not responsible for saving somebody from experiencing what rock bottom is, but you can stop building a pillow at the bottom for them. I know that some of you right now are thinking, if I don't help them, they're going to die. And I promise you that more than more than most people just how real that fear is. As a matter of fact, my addiction became so bad that at one point I was homeless. I was living in a tent with my mother, and we were both using together. And I remember when I finally got arrested, I I truly believe that my mother was going to die while I was in jail, and it was going to be my fault because I wasn't there to save her. I was absolutely convinced of that. I was so convinced of that that I would have dreams, vivid dreams every night that I would break out of jail and I would somehow sneak back in before head count. Every single night. It's so funny because I don't remember my dreams now that I'm sober, but I still remember those dreams of being when I was in jail. I know that fear is real and I know that it comes from love. But here's another side of that. People also die slowly when they're never forced to face reality. You did not cause the addiction, you cannot control it, and it's not your responsibility to cure it. You can stop participating in it though. If you're listening and you're feeling stuck between wanting to help and not knowing if you're enabling, I want to share something that helped me and I think it can help you too. I created a journal that is designed for people just like you and me, family and friends of addicts who are trying to understand the difference between love and enabling. This journal isn't about telling you what to do, it's about helping you slow down and get honest with yourself. It's something that can help you find the courage to set healthy boundaries. Journaling gave me the clarity I needed to stop protecting my addiction and start protecting what actually mattered, which is my recovery. If you want to explore those questions in a safe place, I've linked my journal in my bio. Whether you decide to get it or not, I hope you choose clarity over comfort because clarity can save lives. Sometimes the most loving thing you can say is, I love you, but I can no longer support you in this way. Sometimes the boundary that you're afraid to set is the thing that finally forces change in somebody. Discomfort can be a gift, pain can be a teacher, and believe it or not, consequences can save lives. I can tell you surely that they saved mine. If this episode stirred something in you, sit with it. Talk to a counselor, find a support group for families. I know Al Anon is something that can be very useful for mothers of addicts, fathers of addicts, and just people who are not addicts themselves but are trying to understand the dynamics of the relationship between a parent and an addict or a loved one and an addict. Talking to a professional can really help you, learn the difference between helping and enabling. I am by no means a professional. I can only speak to you from my own lived experience. And if you're an addict, listen to this, understand this. The people that are setting boundaries are not abandoning you. I know it feels like I know what it feels like to sit in jail and not have a single person put commissary on your books or answer your phone calls because you've burned every single bridge. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to go into treatment without a shred of your own clothing or seemingly a single person that cares if you're alive or dead. I know what those feelings are like. Again, the people setting boundaries are not abandoning you. They just might be giving you your best chance at survival. If this message helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, even if it's uncomfortable. Because comfort delays change, and sometimes love has to be strong enough to say no. I love you. I'm out.